Hello everybody, Steffi here from The Makers, and it's really lovely to be back here to continue the nativity theme that we've started a couple, well, 2-3 weeks ago now, starting with the Three Kings, if you remember that. I think I've got them here even somewhere. Oh yes, there they are. Just get them down for you. If you remember this, we started out with a peg doll version of the Three Kings. So if you want to add these to your collection of the needle felted figures, then of course you can do that. But by the end of this nativity tutorial, you will also be able to needle felt your Three Kings because you can use the same method as before. And I'm just going to check in quickly who is here today watching, as this is a live stream. But of course, if you're watching this anytime after today, which it stays on YouTube, so that's absolutely possible, then a lot of this stuff won't apply to you because we're also having a competition. But it will also be streamed again on Facebook on Thursday this week, and the competition counts for that as well. But if you're anywhere away from, and I have no idea what the date is today. I think it might be the 10th, maybe it's the 9th. I have no idea. I'm completely in cloud cuckoo land here. So anyway, one or the other date, then yeah, you're definitely in for the competition either on Tuesday, which is today and right now, or on Thursday at 7 p.m. And I'm just going to have a quick look who is on our who's watching today, just so that I can say hello. Okay, where are you now? No, that's not it. Just bear with me. I've got too many. Oh, today is the 10th, apparently. Today is the 10th. Right, I'm just going to have a look at, so we've got Natasha here. Hello, everybody. We've got Erica, and Fanny is there, and Gina, Carol, Michael, and probably, oh yes, oh my goodness, there's lots more at the top. I'm always tend to start reading bottom up. Donna is there. Hi, Donna. Hi, Diane. Hi, Jane. Serena is there. Alex. Rachel. Hi, Rachel. Oh, and Daniel is there. Hi, Daniel. Sandra is there. And if I've missed anybody out, Emily is there. If I missed anybody, then that's not meant to be personal in any way or form. That's just because I can't read everybody who's there. It will take me all day. So it's really nice to have you here on board again. This is the Mary we're making today. She's dressed in blue. She's got little baby Jesus tucked in to her arms, and you can just about see she's got a little bit of red underneath her blue cloak. And she's a standing figure, so we're not making legs. She's got a flat base. And little baby Jesus is like a tiny little jelly bean with a pink face and some brown hair. And we'll be making him today as well. So today's prize that you can win has got totally to do with babies, because some of you will already know that we have got a doll's house baby as well, and that baby looks like that. So if you wanted to attempt to make a baby like that to put in the crib for the nativity, or maybe you just love babies, then this little baby you can make from a stockinette jersey and from a bit of felt. And for this, ages ago, we did a YouTube tutorial, so you'll find this on YouTube still. And our competition prize today is for you to get the doll's house baby with lots of materials. I'm just going to go on the overhead camera and show you what you actually will be getting, what you can potentially win today. So there's the pack here, and let's pull out what's in there. There's loads. I think it makes about 10 babies. So you get a big piece of felt, you get your piece of fabric for the face, you get the sewing thread, embroidery thread to make the eyes and the mouth, and the pipe cleaners, which you need as well. And then in here you have got the templates. You do not get the instructions, so you either have to have our Making Soft Dolls book, or you just watch what's happening on YouTube. So that's what you need, one or the other. There are no instructions included. And the book, I will show you that one as well. I put it somewhere here. I will find it. Oh yes, I can see it. The book is this one here. In fact, it's got the baby at the front. There you go. It's of course full of little characters doll's house dolls. So you could actually make a whole nativity if you wanted to by using the book. Oh, I've got the camera the wrong way around. Anyway, I'm just gonna hold it up this time. I'm very used to doing it that way round, and there you go. So that is basically everything that you need to make lots of little babies. And I'm not going to tell you how to make babies because you probably know that anyway, but those kind of babies, you just for baby Jesus, you just need a bit of wool, and for the little baby, the sewn baby, you just need that pack, and then you're in business. Right, so let's get started. Last week I unboxed the nativity box, which is still here. Oh, I need to just grab that. Sorry, guys. Oh, I was gonna say I'm a little bit late because I was actually separating a cat fight. We've got a cat here that's ours, but we seem to be looking after a stray cat who's attached himself to us, and they're both tomcats, and they really don't like each other. So if ever they meet, there's an almighty noise, and I'm always just really worried that we've got to take one or the other cat to the vets. So so that's the nativity kit. Oh yes, and I haven't told you how to enter the competition. Okay, so if you could give some really good advice based on everything that's happened in your life or most recently to the next generation, what would that be? One sentence. So really good advice to the next generation based on your life, on anything that's happening right now or anything that's happened in your life. Just leave a comment. Emma, who is here today, as usual, representing the makers, she will pick the winner at complete random. It's not, we're not judging you what you're saying. We will just have a bit of fun and probably really love what you're writing anyway. So we'll just pick a random winner out of the bag. But I repeat again, so if you want to win the baby pack, then just tell us if you had to give one piece of advice, just one sentence, to the next generation based on your life experience, what might be happening right now or what has happened to you in your life, then let us know what that is. Right, let's get the nativity pack unpacked. I'm going to go over overview again. So there's the box, and we've already taken Joseph out, so he's an empty bag here. And as you know, the nativity makes everything from Mary, Joseph, and baby Jesus to the donkey. The donkey we're starting and finishing next week. It's a 2-hour-long session. There's the angel that you can make, and we've already made the sheep, so you have that already as a YouTube stream to go to. And then we've got here the individually packed items, so that you don't have to go out and find 2 grams of this and 50 centimeter of that. It's all there, and there's Mary, so I'm going to keep her out. And of course, in the nativity kit, you also get your felting mat and tools. So this is our basic wool mat, which you can compost if you don't need it anymore. Get your full set of felting needles, and I'm going to put everything else back in here again. I do need to keep baby Jesus out as well, so even baby Jesus has its own little bag. And then of course I'm going to keep the instructions for the project that we're making today. Lid back on. Ta-da-da. And if you want to buy this particular kit, then we do have a special discount. It's still on, and that gives you 10% off with the code nativity10, all in capital letters. But better still, if you're a sub club subscriber, yeah, if you've got a sub club code, then you can get 20% on off on this particular nativity kit. Right, so let's have a look at Mary a little bit more in detail. I've already shown you to her. She's got long black hair. She's got this royal blue coat. So what you will be learning today is wrapping wool around wire, as we did with Joseph. You will learn how to make the head and we're using the Moustache Lollipop technique. And by the way, I loved your photos that you shared with us on Everyone a Maker. That's our Facebook group, Everyone a Maker, with holding the moustache up today last time, and I will be doing it today as well again. And so that was real fun. It's just just got to have a bit of fun. And so I'm going to start with Mary now, and I will do this mostly with the overview camera so that you can follow me quite closely. So as before, but I say it again in case this is the first time you're watching us, in your kit you will get the basic shape for angels, fairies and figures. Now this basic shape for angels, fairies and figures we're also using in our fairy subscription box. If you have not heard of it, the Christmas fairy is now available to either subscribe to or to purchase. If you're subscribing, you get it cheaper. If you're buying it as a one-off kit, it's a little bit more expensive. All of our subscription, whether it's the fairy boxes, the makers boxes or the surprise boxes, they are all we don't tie you in a contract. You can cancel anytime, and yeah, you can skip payments as well if you don't fancy doing a particular month's subscription. Anyway, so there's the basic shape for fairies, and that takes you all the way through to the shape that you need to get to before you go on to these instructions here. So that is basically how this works, and that's the same with our fairy boxes. And the basic shape is really great because it helps you to decide. Maybe you want to make, like we did with Joseph, make a standing figure, or like this little sprite here with her legs. This one is the shape that we're doing with Mary, that she's got a flat base to stand on. You can build up more bulk around your shape to turn it into a round shape. We've got a mermaid here as well, or just a hanging fairy. So that's quite useful to have this this basic shape for angels, fairies and figures anyway. And then here are the instructions for Mary, Joseph and baby Jesus, which we are going to use today as well. I'm going to try and follow as much as I can the instructions. I'm renowned for not doing that, so I try my very best. So there's the Mary pack, just unpacking that now. So we have got this white wool in here, which is our core wool to wrap around the head, to make the bulk of the head. And if you need to know what we're actually using, there is in the description of this live stream, there is a whole list of items that you need to make Mary in particular. And then of course there's also baby Jesus, but I'm leaving him closed for the moment. So you've got the royal blue for her cloak, you've got the red for the little bit of the undergarment, you've got the black for the hair, and then you've got the flesh pink wool top for making her face cover. And then you've got your pipe cleaners in there, and you've also got the extra strong thread to tie up the wool top that comes over the base of the head. And I'm going to start at the beginning, which is basically you've got your flesh pink wool top there. Now because Mary has got like little pink hands, I'm going to just take off a little bit of the pink, so I've got enough to just cover her hands there. And then I use my pipe cleaner. So for this project you need 1.5 pipe cleaner length, and so we've put 2 pipe cleaners in there, so you will end up with a half pipe cleaner. And as before, what we've done is you trap the wool top in the center here, and then you twist the pipe cleaner shut to make sure that it's nice and solid in there. So you give it a tuck and make sure you can't open that pipe cleaner up. That would be really useful if that was the case. I'm wondering if I should turn the camera around, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to work with what I've got, and I'll just make the best of it and then sort it out another time. Right, and then you're going to wrap the wool, this white wool that comes in your pack. Take a short or a pinch off, and then you're starting by getting these sticky fibers, because it's our lanolin rich core wool that is in there. Get these, and which is slightly stickier but good sticky, get them to grip the pipe cleaner cover, which is actually cotton, and wind it up. So make a good beginning, keep it nice and taut, and then wind it up around the base of that, what I will call a moustache, but of course it's going to be Mary's face, and she hasn't got a moustache. At least I don't think she did. And then you add more until you build up a head size that is probably about 4 centimeters, no more. And for this, it's really useful that we have got centimeter measurements here on the side of our instructions, so you can just lay it on there and then think, oh yeah, that's about 4 centimeters, great, that's enough. And then all you need is your felting utensils, which are basically your felting needles. And for this one, do not use a coarse needle, use your medium needle. And you get this little basic wool mat in your kit, and it comes in 2 parts with a hessian on one side, and the hessian gets sandwiched in the middle. It will actually felt together as soon as you start using it. I've used this before, so it's actually already quite felted together. And that is what you use. You lay your little figure out on there, and then you just stab first of all into the base to get rid of the fluffy bits that are there. It's quite, I've wound it up quite tightly, so there's not an awful lot of felting down I need to do, but I'm just making sure that it's nice and firm. Do this on the other side then as well. When you work with pipe cleaners or wire, you must make sure that you don't stab into the wire, because the needle definitely doesn't like it. It can break if that happens. And once you've got oh, I never did the moustache thingy, but you can imagine that this was the moustache and now it's a lollipop underneath. So you can show me your moustaches when you hold them up onto your face. I know I look very silly when I do it. Right, and then you've got these fine fibers that are now need to go and cover half of that ball from one side and then half of that ball on the other side. So you're spreading them out a little bit. You don't need to worry to have a completely even surface on all sides of this ball, because you're only going to see about, if you look at Mary, you're only going to see a tiny window between her hair of the face. We don't give them faces, partially because it's really hard to needle felt into the wool tops. It just sort of gives it quite wrinkly faces, so it's easy to make an old face. But we have lots of tips on how to give them faces if you go onto our YouTube channel, because one of the last fairies we did, which was the Poppy fairy, we did give her a face, and for that we used the wool bats instead of the wool tops. If you need to know what the difference between tops and bats is, then we have got a really useful explanation on our website as well, that tells you the difference between bats and tops. Right, here we go. Now I'm pinching it here at the bottom. I know I've got a gap there. You can actually get rid of that gap by felting into it. So not felting into the pink wool, but just felting the gap away, basically. But as I said, it's not too essential that it goes away entirely. And then you just wrap that strong thread a couple of times as close to the base around the pipe cleaner, and tie it secure with a knot. I always go round it twice. That makes it easier to, if you now tighten it, it stays in that place. You can't, it's when you haven't got an extra pair of hands to put a finger on top of a knot before you finish it off. And then you can cut these the leftover strand of that wool, of that thread off. So I have got an ugly bit here, but I have got some really nice areas there and some nice areas there, and that's totally good enough as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to go onto the bigger camera now, so you can have a look what it actually looks like when it's when you look at it in context with everything else around you. And I don't know if any of you have spotted my staples? If you know, oh, I didn't bring I can see it, but I have to get up to get it. But anyway, I can show it to you on here. If you have seen our subscription box for this month, which is the badger in the woodland setting, the badger is fully and I've seen some amazing makes coming through already, because we're sort of into the second week of the subscription boxes, and they've been sent out, obviously. So you've got your, I can see you through the hole. Hello. The badger is the sort of 3D complete make, and he lives in his badger set. And all of this is made from our structural um, felt, and that is a new product that we've just added onto our website. It's absolutely brilliant. It is really solid. It has got a Hessian scrim running through it, so you can't actually pull it apart, but you can cut into it quite easily, and you can just sort of see the Hessian strands here coming out of the tree. It's really brilliant for making more structural items, such as a woodland setting, a tree, a badger set, a hollow tree trunk. And if you're a subscriber, better still, because the structural core felt is reduced as if you use your sub club code, so you can buy it at a reduced rate now. They come in 3 different sizes, I believe. It's a fat quarter, half a meter, and a meter. And if I remember rightly, I'll try and remember that the fat quarter is 50 by 68 centimeters, so it is quite a substantial piece. And I've actually made a stable from it yesterday. I thought, oh, and it wasn't my idea at all. I take no credit for it whatsoever, because somebody suggested that when Sophie showed you how to use some of the felt, the structural felt, to do the woodland base. So it gave me an idea. I think it was one of you who suggested it, and it is the simplest thing ever. I just basically, this is a single piece here, and I've just tucked it in a little bit so that it makes that roof shape, and then the sides of the stable I've folded in, so it's basically almost that, but then folded in. I've given it a bit of structural support here at the back, and then it's just sewn onto a base. And I don't think it would survive a tornado, but then not many stables would anyway. And it's just perfect for my little figures here. So I've just literally made it up yesterday. I've taken no measurements. I've done nothing else with it other than just get it up, get it ready, so that Mary can be in there. Oh, she's lost baby Jesus. Oh, my dear. Oh, dear. Okay. Gonna have to try and find. Okay, we've lost the baby here. This is not good news. This would have, here he is. Whew, don't have to rewrite history. That's good. That would have caused a bit of trouble amongst the Christians. Okay, we've got baby Jesus back. We're good. We're good. Right. So let's go back to Mary as she is right now in construction. And oh no, I'm in that one. I'm going back into the overview. So because what we need to do now is we're going to give her arms. And the second length of pipe cleaner you have got, you're going to sort of, I think you take about half of. I said I would follow the instructions, and I'm not doing it. Anyway, I'm just, you can cut it or use your pliers, but you can also wriggle it and jiggle it, and it will break, which I keep saying every time. It has now broken, but it's still attached. We call it extra strong because it hasn't got a lot of bend in it, so it's quite sturdy. It doesn't flop. It's a non-flopping pipe cleaner, but it isn't very strong if you continuously pose it. So basically that's why it's good to not use it for something that constantly gets bent back and forth. And if you were to buy just a fat quarter for the stable, you'd be absolutely fine with that. You wouldn't need anything else. Right, so I'm going to wrap the hands for Mary now. I'm going to go up the arm as well. And to do this, you need to do this really neat and tidy. And you start off the pink wool on the pipe cleaner as you did when you wrapped the head up, by just letting the fibers catch into that white cotton cover, and work really close to give it a good old tuck. And then tuck, I'll never remember which one, either with a G or with the CK. And then you're going to bend the bit in that has been covered with the pink wool, and then you're going to go over that bend again, so that you're making a neat, tiny little, delicate little hand. And then you just sort of get rid of the rest of that strand along the arm, keeping it flat like a rib in the wool. And this will be covered in blue with a blue cloak, so it's not that essential that it's the super neatest thing on the planet, but certainly the little hand should be nice and neat. So that looks quite good. And then you're going to repeat this on the other side. So thin layer to start with, make it nice and neat and tight. As soon as you've got about 1 centimeter, 1 to 1.5 centimeters covered, bend it in, make sure the bend is covered, and then you go over it with the same strand and neaten it up and continue along the hand and then the wrist and then up the arm. Sometimes people prefer twisting the pipe cleaner around the wool. So if you swap it round and keep your wool really tight in, I've got it here in my left hand, then you can just twist the pipe cleaner and make that go around, make the wool go around it. So I've got a set of arms here now. That's perfect. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to attach the arms to your Mary now. And to do this, you just lay the arms onto the pipe cleaner. It doesn't have to be the exact position where they're going to end up in. And you're just going to give it one twist. So literally just one twist around the center pipe cleaner, making sure that the arms are the same length still. So if they're not, then you can sort of adjust the twist. Now you've got to decide what's the front and what's the back. And you slip these arms up, and then you can further secure them by using the bits of the hair, not the hair, of the head that are dangling down, to just wrap them around the base of the pipe cleaner. Sorry, Mary, I'm turning her head. I'm turning her head to get the wool around it. She doesn't mind. She's not Mary yet. And then you do this. So make sure that you've got the head definitely so that the arms are coming from either side, the face, I should say, and then do the same on the other side, and get rid of that pink leftover wool. And now you've got a covered arms here. You've got your nice neat face area at so that the arms are coming from either side. I could still turn it round. Actually, this side is nicer, so I'm going to work with that as my face area. And because we're making a standing figure, you can already, so this is the end of the pipe cleaner here. So what you can do is you can already bend this area here into the end of the pipe cleaner into a stand. And to do this, you're going to bend it in at about a 5 centimeter loop. Remember, you've got your tape measure here, so you can get that. That's about 5 centimeters. And then you secure the pipe cleaner, the end here, around the base, like that. So at the moment, this is also incidentally, if you ever make a mermaid, that's also how you start the tail out. But here you've got a round loop at currently flat, and then you're going to bend this up so that it becomes a stand for your figure. Don't worry if she doesn't stand at the moment. What might be quite good is, if you have got a Joseph, is to measure whether Mary is going to be much, much taller. Not there's anything wrong with Mary being taller than Joseph, but you might not like it. And so my Mary will be taller than Joseph, so I'm going to make her a little bit shorter. And the way to do that is just by undoing what you've just done. Get that loop opened up again. I've done a really good job of this. Don't even know how to undo it now. There. And then just make that loop slightly bigger so that she stands a little bit shorter. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to just go onto the big camera again, because I want to show you that while I will be going on the big camera, I'm actually just going to get some of that core so I can show it to you without dismantling my stable again. So I brought some specially for you guys, but then I have put it too far out of reach to show you. So I'll show you this now. So I don't know, maybe this is a good way to show it to you here. So it is a really strong felt. I can't tear it. It doesn't even change shape. You just you know, and really pulling hard. And then it has got inside, what the bits that you can see that you can pick out is a Hessian. It's 100% recycled wool. So it's been obviously felted onto a Hessian scrim to give it extra stability. And I will show this in the big camera as well. It is not like the stuff that you get as packaging um, in your food boxes or whatever you're getting. It is a lot better quality, and it's a lot softer as well. So this is what it, try and show you it as best as I can. This is what it looks like. It's definitely wool. Smells of wool. It's a lovely smell. And you can cut it quite easily. So if you needed to cut something off, just use your scissors, cut into it. It's not that difficult to cut. The one thing that I will say about it is as soon as you cut it, there'll be lots and lots of little, tiny little fibers flying around. And one of my colleagues, she's asthmatic and she has to wear a mask when she's cutting it. So no shortage of masks these days. You can just keep your mask on while you're cutting this. It doesn't affect me in the slightest, but if you've got slight problems with breathing or any condition where you shouldn't be breathing in these tiny, tiny little wool fibers, then do wear a mask and stop that from happening. And that's basically this structural core felt, which I think is amazing. We've only just started seeing what you could do with it. And while we're talking about it, next month's maker's box is the little kitten here. She's a little tortoiseshell kitten, and she's in a structural core felt cut bed. I'm actually thinking of making my cut some because it's so easy to do. It is just yeah, and it must be absolutely so cozy and warm, what she thinks, though, because she's fast asleep. So remember, that's next month's maker's box if you are interested. And we go back to Mary now. She's on her stand there, ready to receive her red under her body warmer, her red body warmer. Right. Whilst I'm here, I'm just going to have a quick look at what you guys are saying. So the one piece of advice that you can give to the next generation, imparting some of your wisdom. I have no idea where I'm starting to read this, but oh, so many people are watching. Oh, while I remember, do give us a thumbs up on this particular live stream, and also tell people to join our YouTube channel, or join it yourself if you haven't done so yet, and then you get all the updates on what's happening. So I'm going to start reading from the bottom, because then let's just go follow this arrow. There's an easy way to do this. Right. Okay. So one tip I would say, this is from Faith, is use a pair of household. Okay. This is this is not a wisdom. Oh, Faith, you crack me up. Okay. It never works reading from the bottom up. Okay. Faith is not giving you her live tip to use a pair of household scissors, and Taylor wants to, as it's quite thick. This is not this is not a wisdom she's imparting, though this is probably quite useful for the future. Okay, I must read these comments before I'm actually reading them out. Have respect for others. Okay, this is definitely a tip for the next for the future generation. Have respect for others, and don't always ignore advice you are given. Oh gosh, I need to tell my teenage children that, but then the trouble is that they always need to learn it the hard way, and they have to work it out themselves. My advice: always trust your instincts. Oh, that's a good one. I second that. Always. My advice would be: never go to bed on an argument. Always make up before you go to sleep. Oh, that's nice. But I thought you were going to say never go to bed on an empty stomach. I think that's my motto. It's more important to be happy than rich. Absolutely, because rich doesn't make you happy. End the day with no regrets and start the day with a smile. Oh, that's a nice one. I like that. Oh God, Faith, I can't get over your scissors. Okay, I'm giggling away here all to myself. I hope you're having a good laugh at the other end. Unless it's not that funny and I'm just needed a good laugh maybe. What else have we got? There will always be people that don't know your worth. Don't be one of them. Oh, that's a nice one, Pamela. I like that one. Anyway, I'm going to go back and make Mary now. Right. Okay. That was so funny. So Mary is ready to receive her red red bodice. If that's maybe, I don't know if they had bodices in those days, but I'm just going to go to the other camera to do this. So basically we need to give her a little bit of a red cover here on the upper body, because we want that to come through, shine through. And I show it to you here. She's got, where she tucks Jesus into her cloak, this part here is nice and red, and then he just sort of slips inside there, and she can hold him tight, and he keeps nice and safe. So, and warm as well. So to do this, we're just literally teasing this little batch of wool here a little bit apart, wrapping it around her upper body to build up a little bit of bulk, and to give her that red part here. And for this, you just need your felting needle stuck very gently into the cover. Remember, there's wire right underneath it, so you don't want to break your needle if you're stabbing in too hard. You can always go past the wire, then you can give it a bit more of a stab, but when you go into the wire, just be mindful that it's there. Just doing that on both sides. It's not really that important that the rest of it looks really neat, because it's going to be completely covered in the blue top coat. And then once you've done this, you take your blue. If you've got bits like I've got here, and I can't repeat this often enough, don't try and extend it by putting it next to it. It's so much better if you tease out the biggest part that you've got, because you need a good hand length of it. It's best to have it longer than wide, always. And then if you've got an extra bit, you can just put this. I'm just going to read ahead in the instructions in case I'm meant to do something else. Just bear with me, because I can't remember. There's just so many things you can do. Okay, so we're actually going to keep a little bit of blue to one side, because we're going to cover the base up with it. So this is enough for her cloak, and then you put a hole in the center, and then you slip Mary's head in through that hole. Make sure you've got the nice side. You still know where the nice side is, and then you stroke that down her body, that whole part of the wool that you've put on there. If for whatever reason it's not long enough, because you need to be able to wrap it around the loop that you've made and tuck it inside, there are a couple of tricks what you can do. You can still shorten Mary by just putting a kink into the pipe cleaner here, so that you can do that, just putting literally, I'm just sort of putting a kink into the pipe cleaner here to shorten her. Or you can just pull the wool gently along the body to make sure that it reaches around that loop. This is why it's really important that you haven't attached pieces, because you're just going to unattach them. So it's best to lay the bits on top of each other rather than next to each other. And the next thing you're going to do is, we're not going to tuck this inside her loop yet. We're going to lay her flat on the felting mat like that. Pull the arms up a bit so that the cloak doesn't slip down, and then you're going to stab her like we did with Joseph last week. Going to stab her under the arm with probably best to use a coarse felting needle. I've just changed needle to do that, and make a seam, but you will have to lift it off and turn it round regularly, so you're basically fusing that area under her arm now with your felting needle. I don't think that's a coarse one. Try that one. Oh, that is nice and grippy. There. And then just do it on the other side. If for whatever reason you're not into nativity sets, there's nothing wrong with that. You can use that same technique to just make any kind of people. If you want to make your family, or if you've done the sheep, I think somebody made shepherds a shepherd instead of Joseph from the Joseph tutorial. This is just a way of showing you how you could make a person in a dress or a person in with 2 legs and a cloak. And then you do this on the other side as well. So the wool sort of tightens around the sleeve as you're stabbing right under the pipe cleaner, but make sure not to stab into the pipe cleaner. Do that on both sides. What's happening here, what I can see is that the blue is pulling away from the back, which I'm going to pull up again, at least on the back, but also Mary will have her hair hanging down her back, so that will be covered up. But if it bothers you that you know it's not neat, then you can obviously pull the blue up. All I want to do right now is I just want to get the sleeve fused underneath her body. So do pull this up if need be, especially at the back, and then maybe just give it a few stabs to establish it back into. If this is your back, then you can felt the blue onto the red by just pulling the fibers up a little bit and establishing them, stabbing them in on the top part. So this is the back I'm doing now. At the front, we do want the red to be visible, because that's where we can see that she's got the red coat underneath it. And now you need scissors, and you're going to cut underneath that line that you've stopped to shut the sleeves, to close them up. Do this on both sides, and the sleeves should now be independent from the rest of the dress. You can go into the base of the sleeve to sort of get rid of that thick seam that you've just created by just stabbing it into itself from both sides. It will just reduce the size a little bit, and then you can do this on the other side as well. There we go. And that should take care of these wispy bits under the sleeve. And also, if you've got a slight gap, which can sometimes happen if it hasn't been closed that well, then you can reduce that now as well. And then you've got 2 flappy bits sticking out here on the side, and these we're closing up in that we come from the back underneath, tuck underneath the cloak, and then bring the front to the back. So we're felting this now down on the back of Mary. And then you do that on one side, and then obviously you repeat that on the other side. So you bring the back in first, bring it round, tuck it underneath, and then bring the back round, bring the front round the back, and then you stab that down. So you're custom making Mary's dress basically on while she's wearing it. And you can what you can do now is you can see this little triangle here that is open, but it's quite fluffy. So what you need to do now is gently stab into that edge to make it neater. So you're going sort of between the blue and the red, and you can still pull it in a little bit, because this is where we're gonna where baby Jesus is gonna snuggle up. And so you want to make a slight cavity, and you can do this by just stabbing into the area between the blue and the red. If you've joined late, you can win yourself a pack that makes about 10 of these little babies. And to do this, you have to give us, just in one sentence, some good advice that you would impart onto the next generation based on your own life experience, or maybe what's even happening right now. Right, so, and just put it in the comments. This is only for those of you who are watching today on the 9th of November, and those of you who are watching on the 11th of November. No, today's the 10th. Is it the 10th? I've forgotten again. Well, in any case, just if you're watching right now live. And it is November 2020. Okay, right. So I'm just I'm a bit bothered because this sleeve is fatter than the other, so I'm just felting it down a little bit to even it out with the other one. So there's sort of minor details that you can do and even out as well. But in any case, so what we need to do now is we need to bring Mary's cloak, we need to tuck it inside that pipe cleaner. So I seem to have an odd bit here, which is fine. Just tease out the bits that aren't odd and tuck it inside that loop there. So you can literally put your fingers inside and sort of stuff it in like a stuffed turkey there. And if you wanted to, and if you had a little bit of that white stuffing wool left and you want to make her a little bit more bulky, you can put some of that inside, stuff it inside, and that gives her more of a thicker appearance. That's not what I want to say. It just it fills out a little bit more. Just make sure that you're not having the white suddenly come through the blue somewhere because it's not felted yet. And then just give that a couple of stabs. Oh, that's the wrong needle. Definitely don't stab that core wool with that lanolin rich core wool with your coarse needle. It really doesn't like it. And then you can stab all along the cloak to felt that down a little bit, and now you're literally stabbing into the stuffed wool that you've put inside. Also, Mary has just given birth to a baby, so she's allowed to be a little bit more round still. And then to neaten her up, here you can close it up with the blue wool here. Right, and I'm going to go onto the big camera in a minute so you can see where I am with Mary right now. So I'm just, it doesn't have to be blue down at the base. If you rather put the blue into her cloak, it's just to make it complete. I mean, nobody's going to see the underneath. I'm just literally felting that down. Make sure that you felt that down really well so that it becomes almost like an indentation again, because that makes her stand a lot more solid. If you have got some areas on her that look a little bit thin or unsightful, then, like for example here, there's a little bit of a white patch, then just use the leftover wool and cover it up with a dusting and felt it down, and nobody will know that it was ever there. That's how forgiving needle felting is. And I'm literally just stabbing the needle in here to I didn't talk very much about what needle felting is all about, but you must know that we have so many beginner needle felting tutorials on our YouTube channel. We have lots and lots of useful hints and tips and other tutorials on our website too, so don't think that you won't get the help that you need. You definitely will. Right, let's go and have a look at the big picture. There she is, looking all pretty. There you go. There's my Mary. She's got a little indentation here to fit baby Jesus in. She's standing quite comfortably on her own 2 feet. There, not like Joseph last year. He was last week. He was a little bit unwilling to stand on his own 2 feet, but Mary is. And oh yes, I'm gonna be on Create and Craft this weekend. That's the 5th. Yeah, that is the 15th. I know that for sure. It's the 15th, which is Sunday. It's at 12:45, so the 15th of November 2020. And what I will be making, what am I actually making? Oh yes, I know. So I am bringing the wolf pack. It's not a wolf pack. There's only one wolf, but it's in a pack. Does that make sense? You know what I'm talking about. I'm also bringing the sea otters, and I will be bringing the mole family and the starter box, natural starter box. That is coming to Create and Craft. And the first 2 are now exclusive to Create and Craft because we're obviously not selling that on our website. The wolf was our last month's subscription box, so he's not available to purchase anymore either. So if you do want that, then definitely hop onto Create and Craft on Sunday at 12:45. You can watch this on several channels, which I never remember because I don't have a TV, but Freeview and Sky and all those usual ones. Or you can watch it live on their website as well. I don't think they do the replays anymore, which is a real shame because you were able to watch it for 7 days after, but they don't do that anymore. And that also reminded me, because last time we were on Create and Craft, we brought our wreaths, and I brought them with me because the woodland wreath is now available to buy on our website. So that was an exclusive for Create and Craft, but it's now available to buy on our website. It's got a tiny little robin hanging there. It's got a sleepy fox. It's got some toadstools and a tree and a little owl sitting in the tree there. So that's that might go quite nicely with your Badger Woodland theme this month in the subscription box. And of course, if you know us already, then we do a winter wreath as well, which is always very popular. And also thinking ahead, the spring, a spring wreath with a blue tit on there. But if you want to design your own wreath, then we do a wreath-based pack as well that basically just lets you build up the base layer, and then you can decorate it however you like it yourself. And for that, we also have a YouTube tutorial, which we did a few weeks ago. So you can, again, another reason to have a look on our YouTube channel and see what you might have missed. That is already there. And whilst we're on the topic of what you might be missing, is that we have got, I think, definitely 3 workshops that are coming up that I know for certain. And one of them is making a sleepy dog, little sleepy dog like that one here, and that is that's coming up at the end of the month. I can never remember which date, but it's through the Knitting and Stitching show, or Beyond Knitting and Stitching, their virtual show. And also the peacock. The peacock was such a fun project to make. We did this in the summer, in September, and we're returning with him. He is absolutely stunning, and it's a really easy make. And I'm really excited to be teaching those two. They're on separate weekends. One is on the 22nd and the other one on the 29th. And the other one is, we are also doing a Zoom workshop for our little robin baubles. So if you want to come and get your robin workshop pack from us, which looks like this, it's like a large letter, just hop onto our website where the workshops are, and you can see what's coming up. There are some more that are coming up, but I haven't got dates for them yet, or some of them are too far ahead, and it's also very exciting, but I can contain myself for now, not to let the cat out of the bag. Right, so next thing, we need to give Mary some hair. And I'm going to just go into the overview camera again. And to give her hair, we've got our black wool here. Now it's quite a rough and ready job, this one, with her hair, because we're just putting it on her head basically. So you could, if you wanted to, you could take little batches off, and then what I always like is, if you're framing the head first, that makes it sort of look neater. It's a lot easier to felt this on than curl, so you literally just felt on the hair on here. And also, just to remind you, you've still got time to win yourself this baby Doll's House baby pack. And when I start on Jesus, then we close the competition and we announce the winner, and that will be for both occasions, Tuesday and Thursday. So I'm just measuring sort of out what I can put on the other side, because I need to cover the back as well still. So I'm just felting this on to frame her little face. There we go. And cover as much as I can on the back and on the top. The pipe, there is a bit of pipe cleaner that will always be at the top, so that's not covered up with the wool, because that was the initial bit that we put on. And then do the back as well. You should have plenty of wool to make her hair, cover her head with the hair, and felt it down. I should use my felting mat, shouldn't I? There we are. Nice job. And she's got, you could plait the hair if you wanted to and then fasten it on. If it's too long on one side than on the other, then you can sort of step into it a bit more. But I think she looks quite sweet with hair that's sort of a little bit wild, because she's been on a long journey, and she definitely hasn't come across a hairdresser on her way to Nazareth, and it's been a rough journey too, riding on a donkey who is not always willing to give her a lift. So I think her hair is allowed to be, it's a bit of a lockdown hair. Right, there we go. Mary is done. She's all ready. I'm just going to show you to her in the big camera so you can see her better still. She's quite a I think my other Mary is a little bit more stubby and yeah, bit bigger, but she's lovely, and I think they look nice together. There you go. all together, side by side. I'm gonna get Joe. Oh, look, see, Joseph does need Mary to prop him up, and there they are, Mary and Joseph. So what's happening now is we need baby Jesus, which means that the competition is closed. Zip-a-doo-dah, gone. Okay, so now is the time. So it just reminds me again of Faith. Oh, that was so funny. Honestly, that's hilarious. So we're going to put Mary and Joseph just to one side for now, because now we're going to make a start on baby Jesus, and we're slightly overrunning, but then I was slightly late because I was hunting cats down. And so baby Jesus has got very, very few materials. I'm just going to go into the overview camera. So it's literally just a little bit of white, a little bit of pink, and a tiny bit of brown. In fact, that would probably make 2 baby Jesuses. You need so little amounts of wool. I'm just going to go to the next page of my instructions just to remind me. We do have a baby instruction tutorial on our website, because you can also make a little flower bud that way. So I'm going to take the white wool, and I'll roll this tightly into an oblong shape. And I understand that the winner today is Serena. So well done, Serena. I know you don't need any more babies. Because you've got plenty, but your babies will love the babies that you're making. I've got a lot of blue here, so I'm going to turn this round and use the other side of it. Oh no, never stop. The London Rich with a coarse needle, and I'm just closing that shape up, so it's like a little. It's the size of a butter bean. Maybe that's a good indication of what you're trying to aim for, because you don't want it to be a ginormous baby. You want it to be in a proportion with Mary. So it's about the size of a butter bean. I'm just going to measure it on the thingy as well. So mine measures about 4 centimeters. And in the instructions, there's 2 to 3 centimeters. So I'm going to felt it down a little bit more. There's still a lot of air in there. And as you can see, I've only used half of that wool. It's just really hard to, we don't want to be shortchanging you of wool. And it looks always so stingy when you only put a tiny amount in a bag. But actually, you only need a tiny amount. So you can make 2 babies here if you want to make a baby for something else. And then when that is nicely felted down, then you're just going to put a little tiny bit of pink. This is when it always reminds me of a severed finger when you do this, or it could be worse, but I'm not going to say that. I'm pre-shaping the little bit of pink that I'm doing to turn into sort of a little disc shape. And all I'm doing is I'm now felting this on top of just on one side into the white area here, and felting that on quite well. If you have a fine needle, then do use the fine needle so to get rid of the sort of slightly pockmarked appearance. But it's not too bad because it's on such a small scale. It really doesn't matter. And then you use a little bit more of the white wool to make a little cap. So you're basically putting that over the top. So you're making a little hood that goes over the top, and you're felting that down as well. So felt that down all over. So you're framing the little face on 3 sides, the top and the side, and then let it sort of the wool just let it disappear into the main body shape. And when you've done this, all you need to do now is you need to give your little baby some hair. But also what works really well is if you bend it slightly, so you can squish it slightly and then stab it while you're squishing it. God, that sounds terrible. Don't do that to a real baby, for goodness sake. This is a needle felted baby, and this is how to make it. Okay, don't try this on anything else. And then to give it like wispy bits of hair, you just lay them sort of on the top of the head, and then you just felt it into precisely into that area between the white hood that he's got on and the pink face you've got here. And that way you've made your tiny little baby Jesus or any other baby. And what works really well is to just sort of, I don't know, just keep working on it a little bit if you want to. Just make the little face a little bit more distinct. Stub a little bit more to get the shape right. Again, try and bend it a bit more so that you've got like a slightly curled up shape. And I've got a bit of vegetable matter in there. That bothers me now. That needs to come out. Out. Ah, felt that down again. And that's basically your baby Jesus done, and that's, I'm dying to see if he can fit in Mary's arms. Right, there you go, tiny little baby. Look, tiny little wormy baby. Sweet. There. Right, Mary, let's have a look. So he should fit into her cloak, and she obviously will also embrace him. So you can have him slightly sideways. You can hold him with both arms. You can still work a little bit more on that dress to make him fit more, but I think that looks really sweet on how Mary is holding her little baby in her arm. Nice. I really like it. Now, just to give you ideas, I know lots of people make other, you know, if you know somebody who's had a baby and you want to make a little figurine, you can do that. A lot of people make needle felt pregnant women, and it could be like the next sort of stage, obviously. So there's lots of thoughts that you don't have to make a nativity. It could also be just a figure, a lady with a baby, a shepherd. He can be smartened up a bit more, and he could be somebody entirely else. However you want to do this, don't be hung up that these are nativity. This is a nativity. It can also be something else entirely. And there's our lovely couple with their brand new baby. And remember next week, which is, if I knew what date it was today, I would know what the date is next week. But I can probably work it out, because I know Sunday is the 15th, Monday is the 16th, 17th. 17th of November, we're going to do this little naughty, this little naughty donkey, which has often refused to give Mary a comfortable ride because he's a bit of a stubborn mole. So we're going to make the donkey. It's going to be a little bit longer. I try and get it done as quick as I can, but I don't want to rush it either, because then you guys will be all stressed out if you can't keep up with me. And if you remember, we've already got the sheep as a tutorial on YouTube. So if you want to make your nativity complete, and Joseph of course is there as well, then do that. And oh God, he's fallen over now. And other than that, I can only tell you that I'm super excited about the hoggies arriving at your house, and so is Heather. She knows that Homer is very close. The 1st of Advent is on the 29th of November, when you can open your first little parcel of the hoggies. I've no idea if we've got any hoggies left, but if we do, then maybe Emma can share the link. I don't think there will be many, if there are any left. And of course, Huey is just excited to see his dad, and so is Holly. And in the first week, we've now published a schedule on our Facebook page of when we're making what. And the first week of the first Advent, we're going to be making the hands and the feet. So get ready for Heather, and then we make Heather together in that same week. So we have a hoggy special happening. And then the following weeks, we're going to do Christmas decorations and other things and clothes to do with the hoggies. So you can, because you're going to have to make them naked first, of course. And I think that's about it, unless I've forgotten anything. No, I think I mentioned everything. So I think I'm going to call this a day now. So thank you very much for watching. Remember, if you want to watch it again, anytime on YouTube. Oh, Joseph keeps falling over. Stay there. That's it. then come and visit our YouTube channel, watch it again, or join us on Thursday at 7 p.m. on for our watch party on Facebook. It's I actually I want to watch it with somebody else when I'm there, because I crack up over myself, because I when I watch myself, I often think I've missed words, I've said the wrong word, I've used something entirely different, and I cannot get over this very useful life tip of Faith, to use tailor scissors. So anyway, I'll leave you with that. Take care, everybody. Stay strong, stay positive, and we will be there by your side. Bye bye.